Damn, that shit is hot. Hey everybody, what's up? Leonardo 2003 here. Remember last video when I said I had some Rise of the TMNT to catch up on? Well, 34 episodes in 2 days means that I'm all caught up. There were so many surprises, so many Easter eggs, so many cool moments, so many heartfelt moments, so many great episodes. Out of all 34 that I watched, mostly season 2, I'd say only 2 of them were duds, and I mean that's a great ratio right there. So I was very impressed with what I watched. Before I break down all of season 2 and I talk about all the highlights, and believe me, there's so much to break down, I'm gonna do these 5-second reviews of every single episode that I just watched, just to kind of put us all on the same page. I was doing Rise of the TMNT episode reviews for every single episode, so I think it's only right that I finish the series by reviewing every single episode. So let's go all the way back to season 1, episode 21A. Man vs. Sewer was a solid standalone episode. A lot of fun. The Sando brothers were the main villains. Raph goes savage when alone, and Donnie is hilarious in his board shorts. 9 out of 10. Mutant Menace was also great, with Baxter Stockboy as the villain and the Mouser robots debuting in this series, now called Microbots. Stockboy is hilarious, wanting to expose the Turtles to the world in a livestream for donations. Another 9 out of 10. TURTLE-DEGA Nights, the Ballad of Ratman, has Splinter wanting to feel his glory days as Lujitsu once again. The minor villains in the show all make appearances, followed by Big Mama. Splinter at first looks selfish for sacrificing Donnie's turtle tank for a demolition derby, but it all worked out in the end, and Donnie and Splinter's relationship grew stronger. 8 out of 10. The Ancient Art of Ninja Hide-and-Seek showcases Splinter training the Turtles on stealth, and the Turtles actually executing what they were taught very well. This was all to steal Gus's dog collar, the episode's villain, so that Splinter could later sneak into Big Mama's tower, use the collar as a secret key to open a random drawer only containing a picture of him and Big Mama when he was Lujitsu. Was it just me, or was this the absolute most random way to reveal that Big Mama used to be Splinter's side piece? 7 out of 10. One Man's Junk has the Turtles looking for a piece of the Dark Armor, which leads them to Repo Mantis' junkyard. It's all for nothing, as the Foot Leaders already got the piece of armor earlier in the day. 7 out of 10. Snow Day was Rise of the TMNT's winter-themed episode, and that's all it really was. Ghost Bear is the villain, who mutates into a giant polar bear, and is defeated with the help of the seldom-shown Mayhem. 6 out of 10. CLOAK and SWAGGART follows April and Sunita as Meat Sweats gets a hold of Sunita's cloaking brooch, allowing him to turn into Rupert Swaggart again for a short time, which was pretty entertaining. The episode brought forth a plot hole, or at least a huge missed opportunity. So the brooch works on both yokai and mutants, since it worked on Meat Sweats. So if the brooch exists, why didn't Splinter, or anyone else, ever use it to return to their previous form? I'm sure Splinter would have loved to be able to go back to being Lujitsu for a day. Could have been a cool episode too, but nevertheless, this episode was fun. 8 out of 10. Jupiter Jim Ahoy has the Turtles meeting their favorite superhero, but they soon realize that he's a goddamn lunatic, and that they idolize Splinter much more. Raph shows his leadership qualities throughout the episode, but Leo is the one who actually saved the day. 7 out of 10. Insane in the Mama Train, or as I like to say it, Insane in the Mama Train, was a full-length banger of an episode. We learn a lot more about Splinter's origins as Hamato Yoshi, and with the Tomato Clan. I mean the Hamato Clan. Those lines were absolutely hilarious. The Turtles speed learn some Hamato Clan skills, get badass red masks and dark ninja suits, actually show a lot of maturity, and find the Dark Armor with the help of April, who really showed herself to be a huge value to the team. There were no shortage of villains in this episode, with even those guardsmen making a return. The whole team is captured by Draxum, and the episode ends on a cliffhanger. Hilarious and action-packed. 10 out of 10. Endgame. The Season 1 finale didn't disappoint. The Dark Armor is finally complete, and Baron Draxum is wearing it. However, the armor wasn't truly complete until the Turtles momentarily saved the day. Unknowingly, they actually allowed the Shredder to be truly resurrected by draining and using Draxum's energy. Another episode with amazing story and action, and the f***ing Shredder officially makes his debut. 10 out of 10. Okay, now we're in Season 2. It starts off with another full-length episode, Many Unhappy Returns. The Shredder is on the loose, causing mass destruction, and they need the help of Big Mama to capture him. We learn a lot in regards to Splinter's backstory, and there's tons of Shredder action. The Turtles defeat the Shredder and Big Mama sends him to a prison dimension. However, it's very obvious that Big Mama will make sure that this isn't the last time that we see the Shredder. 10.5 out of 10. After the Season 2 premiere, 2 shorts were aired on Nicktoons. They were both only about 90 seconds, one being a silly race to help April, and the other one actually being amazing and really important. For one, any episode showing the Turtle Tots is automatically great. And 2, we see the origins of how the Turtles actually chose their own weapons and their first time using them. Okay, now we're back to some short, mostly standalone episodes, starting with 2A, Todd Scouts. Todd is captured by a mad dentist mistaking him for a Sasquatch. The Turtles help Todd escape, but Todd ultimately saves the day himself by going Super Saiyan with a lemonade rush. The Turtles and Todd's relationship is definitely strengthened, and the dentist teases a return to get Raphael's snaggletooth. Maybe one day, but probably not. 8 out of 10. Goyles, 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 a play on Girls, 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 the Motley Crue song, which this shirt is based off of, was an amazing episode. It was possibly the best short episode of the entire series. An episode completely full of just backstory. We see how Hugin and Munin begin working for Draxum, and more importantly, the backstory between Splinter and Draxum. We see the day that Hamato Yoshi, aka Lujitsu, is mutated into Splinter, and how the Turtles were mutated that same day. 10 out of 10. These next 2 episodes were actually aired during Season 1, but actually they're the 3rd episodes of Season 2. I hated how Rise did that sometimes. Flushed but Never Forgotten was really fun. A year prior, the Turtles accidentally flushed Splinter's goldfish down the toilet. Now she's back, and after being mutated, her and Splinter scared the hell out of the Turtles for losing her before. 8 out of 10. Lair Games was amazing. It was hilarious. The way that it was presented through April documenting the entire event was gold, and Donnie persevering and eventually winning the Lair Games for the first time against the favorite Leo was so satisfying to watch. 9 out of 10. Breaking Purple was another episode based on Donnie and the Purple Dragons. Stemming from how Splinter treats the Turtles, Donnie's poor treatment of Sheldon leads to him running away and befriending the Purple Dragons. Of course, they're just using him for his technology, and they show him how special his relationship with Donnie really is. 8 out of 10. Repairin' the Baron was another really solid one. Baron is still in a rut after being drained of all of his energy by the Shredder and being ditched by the Foot Clan, and Mikey has made it his personal mission to get Draxum back on his feet and to be a good guy. Mikey is the turtle that really looks at Draxum like family, since he did technically create them. Mikey seeing the good in Draxum was very wholesome and ends up paying off for the team. Draxum's mask was smashed at the end of the episode, which was to make it easier to differentiate the previous evil Draxum to the now good guy Draxum. 9 out of 10. Air Turtle was a 10 out of 10 for me. It really wasn't anything special, but basketball is my favorite sport, and this was the first Ninja Turtle episode ever to completely revolve around it. Leo's basketball team that he's the mascot for is accidentally turned into demonic warriors, and the only way to defeat them is to beat them in a game of hoops. Every Turtles series has those episodes that revolve around something that's like your other super favorite interest in life. And those episodes, they're always the best for a more personal reason. Pizza Puffs was an episode with Meat Sweats returning as the main villain, and again making Raph look like the only turtle actually mentally capable of being leader. The other 3 turtles get themselves in trouble, and Raph lets them get out of trouble on their own. The end of the episode shows Meat Sweats being taken by his shadow, the first time that we see this happen. 8 out of 10. Sidekick Ahoy was another Jupiter Jim episode. I guess Jupiter Jim isn't as cracked out as I thought, as the mutant he's hunting in this episode turns out to actually be real. The turtles all want to be his sidekick. until his old sidekick finally returns. I didn't mind another Jupiter Gym episode, but they're just not my favorite. 6 out of 10. The Hidden City Job was an episode that I had low expectations for, but it definitely exceeded them. We revisit the relationship between Senor Hueso and his brother, Captain Piel, showing that Piel has gone straight and wants to fix his relationship with his brother. They show the ability to combine their skin and bones selves into the world's most handsome Spanish man, and they complete their mission. I'm gonna say it. It needs to be said. What we learned from this episode, what was confirmed, the big revelation, was that Big Mama loves herself some dick. 8.5 out of 10. Always Be Brownies was the first ever TMNT episode ever to not feature any of the turtles on screen at all. That is absolutely insane to think about. The episode also hints at the Foot Recruit being this incarnation's Casey Jones. The Foot Recruit is running an evil Girl Scout brownie scheme, with April and Splinter trying to stop it. The episode ends with that shadow taking away the Foot Recruit. This episode has some really funny lines in it. It's really hilarious. 8 out of 10. Mystery Meat catches up with Baron Draxum and his new gig as a lunch lady. The episode revolves around him getting a reward for being such a great lunch lady, and they have to make sure that his cafeteria is rid of any mystic type shit. Although the guy is a big purple yokai, the other lunch ladies don't seem to mind that. 7 out of 10. The next 4 episodes are part of a 4-part special titled Tales of the Hidden City, and all take place at the same time and follow each turtle situation. The first one, Raph's Ride Along, was definitely the best one. Well, actually it aired after Donnie's episode, but chronologically it takes place before it. It featured this iteration's version of the Dark Turtles, and the 3 main ones were all voiced by the same voice actors that voiced those turtles in the 2012 series, which was an awesome thing. I had no idea that this was coming, and I was very shocked. Also, Big Mama is one of the episode's main villains. 9 out of 10. Donnie vs. Witchtown is all about Donnie's passion for science being much better than mystic powers. Pretty much the only thing notable about this episode is that it finally shows April obtaining her mystic baseball bat weapon. Although Donnie is probably my favorite turtle in Rise, this episode got pretty boring at times for me. 5.5 out of 10. Hidden City's Most Wanted was Mikey's episode. However, it's more about Draxum and Splinter's rivalry. The rivalry is very deep and a huge plot point for Rise of the TMNT. They do reach a reconcile at the end of the episode, much to Mikey's delight. It's almost like Mikey is watching his 2 parents finally get back together, and it's amazing. 8.5 out of 10. Bad Hair Day was one of the silliest episodes of Rise. I did, however, love every single second that Leo and his beautiful blonde hair were on screen. Leo was given that great head of hair, but the hair was committing crimes when Leo wasn't paying attention. The episode was fun, and Leo's charm definitely carried it. 7 out of 10. Fists of Furry featured a parody of Chris Bradford from the 2012 series, which was pretty funny. We follow Splinter and April as they take on Christoph Bradford and his students. It climaxes as Splinter and April use the 7 Deadly Viper attack to defeat Bradford. 7 out of 10. The Clothes Don't Make the Turtle has the turtles trapped in an 80s montage by Hypnopotamus. Random as hell, but the montages of the turtles showing off their outfits were absolutely hysterical. Donnie eventually returns the favor and traps Hypno in his own 80s montage. To end the episode, Hypno is stolen away by the Dark Shadow. 8 out of 10. Battle Nexus, New York. The Battle Nexus themed episode that we've been waiting for since it was first revealed last season by Big Mama. Holy shit, this is it. This is basically the beginning of a 60-minute series finale. Big Mama traps all of New York City inside her mystical orb, leaving the Turtles to fight a unique Nexus format. The Foot Recruit reawakens the Shredder from his Shadow Fiend state, and all hell is about to break loose. 10 out of 10. Okay, now the official 4-part finale. 4 10-minute episodes, starting with E-Turtle Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. The backstory that we get in this episode is incredible. Some tear-jerking moments of young Hamato Yoshi, explaining why he didn't follow in the footsteps of his family. I'm still crying. To end this episode, the Karai of this incarnation debuts, and the Shredder is fully unleashed. 10 out of 10. Part 2, Shreddy or Not, shows basically the actual debut of the Shredder in all of his glory. We get the full backstory of the Shredder and Karai's origins. The Shredder completely destroys the Turtles' lair, he blows up Sheldon, and as far as the Turtles know, he killed Karai. The closing minute of this episode was possibly the best single minute of all of Rise of the TMNT. 10 out of goddamn 10. Part 3.
あなたは一人じゃない。
I've been working on my Japanese. Yet another gut-wrenching scene where Karai dies right in front of April, just after she transfers her spirit to her. And people complain that this show doesn't have any guts. With the help of April, the Turtles tap into the Hamato Ninpo powers, and are as ready as they'll ever be to take on the Shredder one final time. Of course, 10 out of 10. Part 4, Rise. What very well could be the last ever episode of Rise of the TMNT. The Shredder has Splinter and Draxum trapped in the Hidden City, and is about to drain Splinter's Hamato essence, which could make the Shredder invincible for the rest of time. The Turtles and April show up just in time, toting their original weapons, and even Donnie's fresh out of beta drill, which was so funny and cool to see.
My drill is out of beta!
The final battle goes down, and with the help of the Foot recruit revealing herself as Cassandra, aka Casey Jones, Splinter's mother, the rest of the Hamato clan spirits, and one final hot soup, the Shredder is defeated. To end the episode, Leonardo is appointed new leader by Splinter.
Oh, and Blue, you are the leader now.
Wait, what?
I guess I'll touch on that first while we're right here. Honestly, since there will most likely never be another Rise of the TMNT episode, the writers probably just threw this in for kicks. Had they had a full Season 2 to work with, they very well could have incorporated this Leo leader angle into the latter half of the season. But in my opinion, Raphael should have just stayed leader. He just exemplifies much more leadership characteristics than Leo. Raph also just has the advantage, being the oldest, biggest, and strongest of his brothers. It just wasn't Leo's time yet. It was the way that Leo was given the leadership role by Splinter that just didn't sit right with me. Although Leo ended up saving the day many times throughout the series, for the first 8 minutes of those episodes, he was usually just acting like a jokester. Leo has come a decent way since the first episode, but I still don't think that he's ready to be leader. And for him to be leader, it needed to be more justified. A subplot of an entire season of Leo trying to overcome Raph as the leader is what it would have taken for me. Something like Leo finally maturing and realizing his potential as a leader for his brothers, and going after it each and every mission, sometimes besting Raph and sometimes not, but eventually Raph giving Leo the leadership role himself after realizing that Leo has shown he is the best option for the team. Don't get me wrong, I really do love this version of Leonardo, and he's actually strikingly similar to the 2003 series Mikey. Honestly, neither Leo or Raph possess the all-around qualities it takes to be a sound leader, but I feel like Raph is still much closer to that than Leo. Let me know in the comments. Should Leo be leader already? I don't know. Do you agree with me or do you think that he should be? I definitely want to know what you guys have to say. Alright, let's just talk about the Shredder for a little bit, since, just like in every other incarnation, he is the main villain of this series. Since this show wanted to be different, his presence wasn't really felt most of Season 1, but the Shredder was bound to make his way to the center of the stage eventually. This Shredder could be most closely compared to the 2003 series Tengu Shredder. In the smallest nutshell possible, the Tengu Shredder was the actual original Shredder of the 2003 series. He initially started as an evil demon in ancient Japan and took over the soul of Oroku Saki. He was eventually defeated and laid to rest for over 15 centuries, until awoken again by the Foot Mystics and inevitably defeated by the Turtles. That is very similar to the Rise of the TMNT Shredder's origin. Also, the 2003 Turtles tapped into their mystical powers using Chi, giving off neon stripes all over their bodies, very similar to how the Rise Turtles used Hamato Ninpo to use their mystical powers, with similar neon colors on their bodies when the power was in use. As a huge 2003 series fan, it was very cool to see another incarnation of Turtles taking huge elements from Season 5. So let's break down this Shredder's origins. 500 years ago in Japan, the Foot Clan, led by Oroku Saki, was a peaceful clan until the Utram-like Oni and its army invaded their land. The Utram thing made a deal with Saki, giving him the dark armor and corrupting his soul, giving birth to the Shredder. Saki's daughter, Karai, started the Hamato clan in retaliation and defeated the Shredder by sacrificing herself and bringing them both into the Twilight Realm. With Karai in the Twilight Realm with him, he could never reach full strength again. Why that was, I'm not too sure. I mean, 450 years later, Splinter's mom had to sacrifice herself to stop the Shredder, so I guess he tried coming back, I don't know. Also, his dark armor was supposedly spread throughout the world so that the armor could never be used again. However, it seemed like all of the pieces were found in New York. The Foot Lieutenant and Brute actually just used Baron Draxum to reawaken the Shredder by sucking his life out of him. But this Shredder was not the true Shredder, as he was still defeated in the Twilight Realm. Eventually, Big Mama gets control of him using a collar and a ring, and then Cassandra took control of the ring. The Turtles, using Splinter's memories, were able to hunt down an ancient weapon that sealed the Shredder in the Twilight Realm. They thought that this was the way to defeat the Shredder, however they didn't realize that this would actually fully unleash the Shredder's actual self, and that the weapon was actually Karai. This was very outlandish, but I still really dug it. You can't be mad at this show just because it isn't a copy of the story of your favorite incarnation. It's refreshing to see new takes on old stories. However, I feel like this story kind of went all over the place at times. Like, the Shredder was never actually the Shredder until the finale, when he got full control of himself. Before that, Draxum was the Shredder. Then he was on the loose and just attacking things in rage. Then Big Mama controlled him. Then Cassandra controlled him, and then finally he debuted as his true self. I guess we can't blame the writers, as they had to rush out and condense their story for Season 2 after the season was cut in half. At the end of the day, the story was suspenseful and very entertaining. It was fresh, exciting, and I was happy to watch it all go down. Also, the Shredder was the Shadow Fiend who we saw steal Cassandra, Meat Sweats, and Hypnopotamus. But whatever even happened with that? Cassandra was already the Shredder's second in command and appeared in later episodes like nothing ever happened. And we never even saw Meat Sweats or Hypno again. I guess that was all just for show, or maybe they just had to rush out the finale and the part explaining that might have got left out. And finally, why did Hoon Lee, the voice of the 2012 Splinter, have to voice this Shredder? The second that I heard him talk, his voice sounded way too familiar. For me, it kind of took away from the Shredder's character just a little bit, not having a more unique voice. Overall, I thought that this Shredder character was executed great for this show. Although we didn't see him too much, the build up to the finale and finally seeing him in action was a fun ride. He was by far the strongest opponent that the Turtles had to face. His strength, speed, and durability were nearly unstoppable. He was like a giant demon mutant Shredder. Also, this was the first Shredder ever to actually be related to Splinter, being like his 10 times great-grandfather. The origins of the Turtles, Splinter, Karai, and Draxum were really cool too. Karai being the Shredder's daughter, and being Splinter's like 9 times great-grandmother, was crazy. When she first debuted in the finale, I actually thought that she was going to be Splinter's mom. I think that the most unexpected thing about Season 2 was the complete 180 flip of Baron Draxum. He went from being the show's #1 villain to a second father to the Turtles and a brother to Splinter by the last episode. I really couldn't believe what I was watching. After being kicked to the curb by the Foot, he went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. Mikey got him back on his feet, which was also so endearing. Mikey, being the youngest turtle, was also the biggest sweetheart. Without Mikey, Draxum probably still hates humans and the Turtles. I also barely even noticed the difference in his voice when Roger Craig Smith took over his voice from John Cena for Season 2. It seems like the show broke Draxum's face mask to signify that he was a different character from that point forward, to make it easier to tell that something was different about him and that he could actually be a really good ally for the Turtles. Draxum's character arc definitely made for some good TV. And how about the Foot Recruit, who we can just call Cassandra Jones now, finally listening to her guilty conscience and helping the good guys take down the Shredder. She had a few very heartfelt scenes with Splinter in Season 2, helping her realize the evil path that she was going down.
Luckily, it is never too late to change your path.
Her being revealed as Casey Jones wasn't a huge shock to me. The fact that they were hiding her name for so long led me to believe that they were actually hiding something. She's the first female Casey Jones, which I had no problem with. I'll always prefer a male Casey Jones, but a little change to spice things up never bothers me. Now, if there's one character in Rise of the TMNT that's polarizing, it's definitely Splinter. You couldn't blame the fans that were disgusted by his new appearance and personality when the show first premiered. We've never seen a Splinter anywhere close to being like him. But I bet everyone who watched every single episode of Rise has nothing but love for him. Let's talk about how Splinter ended up being that lazy couch potato that he debuted as in the first episodes. He lost his mother when he was a young boy because she had to sacrifice herself to defeat the Shredder. He grew bitter as he grew older, missing his mother and not being motivated enough to be a part of the Hamato clan. He used his ninjutsu skills to go to Hollywood and he hit it big with an alter ego, Lujitsu. He went from rock bottom mentally to becoming a blockbuster movie star. However, he was played by Big Mama, who kidnapped him to compete in her battle Nexus the night that he proposed to her. He refused to continue fighting, not thinking it was morally okay. Then, Baron Draxum got a hold of him to use his DNA to mutate 4 turtles into, well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. However, he wasn't going to let that happen without a fight. He destroyed Draxum's lab and got mutated into a rat in the process. How motivated would you be if you just lost your entire life and got mutated into a rat? He endured so much trauma in his life and he just wanted to deal with his troubles in a stress-free lifestyle. However, once he realized that the Foot were back and were trying to resurrect the Shredder, he knew that he had to turn things around and prepare his sons. He did enough to make sure that they were a formidable team against the Foot. Seeing his character develop throughout the show's 2 seasons was a beautiful thing. Seeing his backstory fleshed out just made it so much easier to feel for the guy, and it also boosted his charm. The emotions that he went through in Season 2 were so powerful. He shed many tears dealing with and facing his past. Now, the Turtles in April. Pretty much everyone on the team became much better ninjas as Season 2 rolled on. April really became a badass and was basically as important as a 5th turtle for the guys. She probably had the most wits when completing missions. Her recon work was very impressive and her scenes with Splinter were also really cool. Honestly, if there's anyone that has leadership qualities about them on the team, it's her. Donnie became a much more understanding brother as the show went on. He learned to accept his brothers for who they were and to love them for it. He went from being emotionless to actually being very vulnerable. Seeing his face light up whenever he got appreciated from Splinter was always great to see.
I am so proud.
Did you just hear that?
I can't say Mikey changed much as the show went on. He's still obviously the youngest turtle and the most childish, but not in a bad way. He had plenty of lines that had me laughing. I loved his Dr. Delicate touch lines, starting off gentle and then hitting his brother with the cold hard truth.
This is a job for Dr. Delicate Touch. Get your mind right, son!
However, the role that he played in mending the Turtles, Splinter, and Baron Draxum's relationship can't be understated. He almost single-handedly turned the show's biggest villain into one of their biggest allies. Raphael's character really grew on me as Season 2 went on. He showed that he didn't want to just be the leader for any selfish or entitled reason. He just loved his brothers and wanted to do everything that he could to lead them in the right direction and protect them. He put the team on his back many times throughout the series. He was even almost just as strong as the Shredder when he used his mystic ability. He went from being one of my least favorite characters to one of my favorites, and I still think that he should still be the leader. And then there's Leonardo. He and Donnie were the funniest turtles by far in my opinion. He did mature a little bit throughout the series and showed time and time again his high potential as a ninja, but just as many times he proved how he doesn't take anything seriously enough. His 2 best things that he has going for him are his portal power and his talking skills. He talked the turtles out of many tough situations, and he also saved their shells in many situations with his mystic sword. Overall, I enjoyed Leo, but I feel like there was room for more character development with him. Of course, you can't blame the writers. They only had 2 seasons, and Season 2 got cut in half probably as they were still writing it, so it's all good. I'm not mad. I'm happy with what we got. And with all that being said, Rise of the TMNT has run its course. Wait, actually,
It wouldn't surprise me if someday someone made a movie about you.
yes, we still have the Rise of the TMNT Netflix movie to look forward to as a possible new series finale, similar to Turtles Forever to the 2003 series. There are rumors, some from those who worked on the show, that Rise is currently on a hard pause, meaning production of the show has been paused and they will decide on canceling it or producing a season 3 after Nickelodeon sees how well the Netflix movie does. Thousands of fans have been giving Nick backlash on Twitter. Will it help bring Rise back? We'll have to wait and see. I'd say there's a 95% chance that we'll never see another Rise of the TMNT episode again, and that really bums me out. But we have this Netflix movie coming out this summer, so let's look forward to that. With no information yet on this movie, besides Andy Suriano confirming that it will be released in summer of 2021, it's hard to speculate on plot points and villains in the movie. We don't know how long after the finale episode this movie will be taking place. If it takes place soon after, we can expect one of the big subplots being drama between Raph and Leo over being leader. Raph was the leader with pride, and Leo had no interest in being the leader, so Raph may understandably be very upset. However, if the movie takes place more in the future, that storyline will probably barely be mentioned. There is one villain that many fans have speculated may be the main villain of the movie. I'm just going to call it an Utrom, since we all know that's what the horrible Oni is based on. Karai also refers to him as a demon in the flashbacks. There was also only one Utrom shown. He could be the only one, or he could be the leader and his army just uses robotic bodies. If he's the leader, he could very well be Krang. We just have to wait and see how the writers decide to write this. The Utrom made its debut in part 4 of the finale. We're not sure if the thing is 100% dead or not, but it has been in an Empyrean-filled orb for centuries, dead within the hidden city. Maybe being surrounded by the Empyrean kept it alive somehow. The Utrom is who originally brought the Empyrean to Earth, which mutated people into yokai. So to my understanding, Empyrean turns humans into yokai, and the mutagen created by Baron Draxum that Uskitos carry turns humans into mutants. The yokais mutate into what I guess is a random mutant form, as the mutants mutate into the last animal that they were in contact with. Also, some yokai can transform into their normal form, like Big Mama. But now that the Shredder cracked open the Utrom's Empyrean orb where it lied dead for centuries, who knows what could happen next? If I had to guess, it's probably going to be the main villain for the movie. This movie is going to make or break the future of Rise of the TMNT. The writers know that they need to come up with something that both old and new school Turtle fans will like, along with newcomers to the series, to ensure that the movie gets a very positive response. Using a standard TMNT villain, like one that resembles Krang, could please everybody. The Utroms across most incarnations of TMNT are actually a peaceful alien race, but Krang is usually the bad seed, and all TMNT fans know at least one version of Krang. I don't think that just one evil Utrom will be able to carry an entire 90-minute movie. There will have to be another villain or two getting in the way of the Turtles. Of course, there's still Big Mama, and also the Shredder seems to always find a way to come back from apparent death in every incarnation. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We have to be getting some sort of a teaser on this movie soon. By the new year, I'm sure that we'll have some more information on it. So yeah, I hope that this video wasn't like a big mess. I hope it was kind of orderly. I mean, I couldn't even say everything I wanted to say because I just watched 34 episodes. I still have to process everything and it's just craziness, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just really hope that I didn't forget to touch on anything major. I guess I could do one more thing. In the spirit of Rise of the TMNT, I could show you guys every figure that I have. Now, I don't have them all. The Shredder has actually been on order for like over a month now. I should be getting it any day now. I wish I would have got it for this video because it's kind of like a pricey figure because I guess the Shredder came out right when the Rise of the TMNT line was fading. Sort of like this guy did. Bullhop. Like the Shredder and Bullhop, they both go for like 50 to 60 bucks online, which is crazy. But I guess like right when they started being produced and sent out to stores, the Rise of the TMNT line kind of got cut, so not many of them were produced or sold. I got Bullhop, an Origami Ninja. By the way, we really didn't see these guys much in Season 2, right? Splinter, Alberto, Standard Raphael, the Standard Donatello, Standard Mikey, the Foot Lieutenant, Bug Bustin' Raphael, the Standard Leonardo, Meat Sweats, Baron Draxum, April and Mayhem, Wrestling Leo, Bug Bustin' Leo, Hypnopotamus. I also have the Wrestling Mikey, dressed in his wrestling outfit. That's on the way too. I've had it on order for like over a month. Stuff's taking forever to get here. I got the extra large Donatello, the extra large Raphael, and the extra large Mikey. I was able to find these three in store like a year ago, but I actually just recently ordered the Leonardo since I could never find the Leo, and I might as well complete the collection.
You think you can just replace me?
Did you just hear that?
What? Oh, you, man? Oh, no. Don't worry. You're still my favorite. I still love you the most. Don't worry. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely comment down below. What'd you think of Rise of the TMNT Season 2? What do you think of Rise of the TMNT as a whole, now that it's pretty much done? Not 100%, but you know what I mean. And how hyped are you for the Rise of the TMNT Netflix movie coming? Let me know in the comments, guys. I really want to know. And until next time, peace out.